Fasten seatbelt sign. You are now free to move about the cabin.
Not that one.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
all
when
I
I go
got
get
with
my
these
surgery,
posts.
I ain't saying nothing to nobody. How you did that?
How
24
you
hour
did
that?
fitness.
Speaking
Fitness
of
connection.
marriage, man. Damn. So, out of us four, who y'all think get married first?
Not me.
It's gonna definitely be. I think it's gonna be James.
I'm gonna agree with that.
James is the most
I would
mature.
James is gonna be you.
And why is that? Maturity aside.
So fuck I got right now. Being mature, growth, and adult. Clearly, I've been a slut, and I'm the oldest out of everybody with 2 kids, and I still ain't gotten married yet. So it's the odds for me are probably slim enough.
I'm just saying, James, your hat say HR. Stand for he ready. So you gonna be the first.
Whilst that can be true, I'm selective as hell. Like it ain't just gonna be anybody that's gonna get my last name.
So we get that.
Can we talk about why do we marry? I think women don't understand that. I always said that it was about security. for men.
Security, huh?
We marry. I'm saying we marry for security. I'm not going. If I know you just outside, live a fast life, I'm probably not going to marry you. I'm just going to be here for a good time, not a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But do we marry for security, stability? What is it necessarily that makes a man want to propose? You've had many good-looking women, so that can't be the factor. You've had abundance of great. What you called it earlier? Yeah, we've had abundance of that. That ain't got you motherfuckers to engage to nothing. So, what would you marry for?
I think that's a hard question to answer.
No, it's not.
Just because, like, my take on it, man, I'd rather for it to like genuine, bro. I'm all about genuineness, bro.
Go for it. I'm gonna go last on
When you
this.
say genuine, what do you mean?
Like, I just think like, yeah, you might like got your qualities of what you want out of your woman or whatever, but of course they're not gonna check all the boxes, right? So why would you hold yourself to that strong of a list? Whatever list you got on how you want your woman, your future woman to be.
So, can you give more detail on what would be the boxes that she would have to have checked in order for you to marry her? And I'm asking that because I think a lot of the women out here don't necessarily believe that we have standards and expectations on what we want to. And they're not really understanding why a lot of them are not married, why a lot of them are just used and, you know what I'm saying? And that's it. Like a lot of them is just think that we don't, to me, just literally like have a checklist, and we do. So in that box or in that sheet with those boxes in it, or there are certain things that you will require
I'm gonna let y'all answer that.
to be married.
Go for it, because I'm gonna be combative as fuck.
I mean, for me, man, it's not stability. For me, it's just I'm trying to have my kids like taken care of. That's what it is for me. I'm trying to be able to have my kids taken care of at the house. So they can grow up and just have what I didn't have growing up as a kid. So that's what I'm chasing after before.
That's it.
That's it for me, man.
There's a couple different factors that go into this question. First thing, the majority of men marry for security and stability, but in a different sense than what women do. A lot of men, and y'all can attest to this, people you've actually been in a relationship with, they've always had a quality that lets you know at the end of the day, If all else fails and this all goes to shit, she still got my back. Even if I go down to my last 10 cents, she's still gonna hold me down. She's still gonna help me take care of the house. She's still gonna take care of me, and I'm gonna take care of her because that's what she's doing for me.
Mhm.
And in essence, the one phrase that used to be said so much during the early 2000s and the 2010s is that women are given wife treatment but at a girlfriend price. Yeah, it's a fucking test drive. To get a last name and be put on a marriage contract, show me you're gonna be able to take care of me. Because if you can take care of me and I don't need you as much, like Lid said, how you gonna take care of my kids? If you ain't got the qualities to make a home, cook, clean, look after yourself, keep yourself looking good, make sure I don't look stupid, be loyal to me, why would I ever want to marry you? And then on the flip side of that, for the men who do want to get married, other men are fucking it up and women are allowed. Because I have this scheduled out for a different podcast. Right now, there are statistics that showing that there are more women in relationships than there are men. However, they outnumber us 2-1, which means there are more women in relationships with the same few dudes than there are men in relationships. And then they wonder why they can't find a quote unquote good man to settle down with and marry. It's because you chasing behind fucking Future while goddamn Russell Wilson over there saying, I will take care of you. We can work together. No, you want Future, Cam Newton, and Nick Cannon who just gonna put a baby in you, throw some money your way and dip. Why would I want to marry that? Why would I want to marry you when you more concerned about 7 p.m. Friday, no nigga, and I'm over here trying to build the future, and now you want to come take some of my resources? Because those resources are things that I'm building for my future, my family, my kids. I'm not going to just give that away. And that's one of the standards a lot of men have, but women don't give a shit what you want and what standards you have.
So what would be the boxes that she would have to have checked for you to feel like, or for you to feel deemed necessary to go ahead with,
Giving her a
proposing or, doing that? And then if you believe in her that much, are you willing to sign a prenup?
There's no willingness. A prenup is going to be signed both ways. Because at the end of the day, for me going into a marriage, I'm not going in thinking this is going to end one day. If I'm putting a ring on it, this is going to be until I'm in the dirt. And if you should decide that you no longer want to be here, if I build this massive net worth and you decide that, oh, it's raining tomorrow, I think tomorrow I want to give him papers. What makes you think I'm just going to let you freely walk out of my life with half the shit I've built off the sweat of my brow because you don't want to be here? So, in the same for you. If you built up so much shit and I become a not shit nigga who just want to sit at the house, play video game, hang with the boys all day, I shouldn't be entitled to anything you built.
Do you believe it's possible not to cheat once you get into this marriage phase?
Yes.
100%.
Because no matter what people want to say and what they want you to believe, oh, I just couldn't pass the opportunity. Unless God and Jesus literally came and said, if you're not inside her in the next 5 minutes, you'll die. It's always a choice.
Yeah.
Like, you chose that right now in this moment, I don't value my partner. I don't care about her loyalty. I don't care if she's holding me down. I want these sugar walls and I'm going to get them. And the same thing, you don't slip and fall on no goddamn dick. You decided that you like this nigga and made an emotional connection enough, even if it's a small one, that's what you want to go and do. And unfortunately, that's one of the boxes that, as we are getting further and further in the 2020s, is becoming less valuable. Because now it's just assumed that no matter who you're dealing with, there's always a second and third string waiting for you to just fuck up to become the main, and somebody out there trying out to become on the rotation. But back on the whole, what boxes should she check?
Right.
That's different because every guy's different. You have a certain
women's
list of things.
Well, I think I asked that because a lot of women is curious to what a man's bringing to the table. And I know for a man like me, I'm all about teamwork.
Mhm.
Can I take care of you 100%? Of course. But why would I? Because my thing is, a lot of women don't understand the concept of that neither. You know, the new social media and shit, they are all about a bag or a man taking care of them and providing for them. For me, two heads are better than one. Two incomes are better than one. And don't get me wrong. Would I love to take care of you 100% and you not have to worry about absolutely nothing in the world? As a wife, yes, that's probably without a doubt. But in some hindsight, I don't think women get that if I'm giving 100% of what I have, then what the fuck do I have? And my main thing is, in some marriages, I feel like we're pushed to work till we die. And that's it. That's the shit that I'm not signing up for. For me, I say security, stability, but the most important thing for me in a marriage is the fun and excitement of each other.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people fuck up by, like I always tell people, the same shit you did to give me is the same shit you got to do to keep me. I think a lot of those marriages and relationships go south because people get comfortable and complacent, you know, and the excitement of when you start having kids, bro, sex gets scheduled, that romance get blocked up. You know, there's a lot of shit that come in play. And I see men have these good girls, good wives at home and still step out and fuck around and fuck with this one and that one, but the security is at home.
Mhm.
You know, and that's why I was asking all that. Like, is it possible to not cheat? Because I just wanted them to hear from y'all that it is some of us that know how to do what we're supposed to do without even being asked.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think that it's more important that your woman be all that for you. Like, I want judge, jury, and execution. I want a free. I want a doctor. I want a therapist. I want all that to be in my bed. Because when it comes down to it, the one place that I feel like I could be vulnerable at is home. Now, if I got to come home and I got to have just as much defense with you that I have outside, that's not security and stability for me. You know, I don't want to. If I got to sit in my car for 30 minutes before I come in these bitches, because I don't want to be. Let's just be real. I have to really like wind. If you have a family at home, I have to really wind down before I even step in this motherfucker because of that reason or maybe that case.
Which I agree with that to a certain extent. But here's another thing that ultimately causes a lot of people to step out of their relationships is putting that overall pressure on this person to be everything. Your partner shouldn't have to be everything for you. And this is where it's going to challenge both men and women to be how secure are you about the person you picked and in your relationship. Because one thing, even though women don't want to hear it, that man needs to have a feminine presence in his life that's purely platonic outside of you. Because a lot of times, what you'll find is in those relationships, if a dude's fucking up, he's not going to see that he's fucking up if he's just kicking shit with the boys. Because they're going to sign off on his bullshit. But if this woman is his true friend, she's going to tell him, why the fuck did you do that? Why did you say that like that? This is why she felt the way you did. And you going to go, what? I didn't even say it like that.
I've had some of those experiences.
In every time you get that advice, you look at it differently because now you're seeing it through the lens of someone who looks at things emotionally
I could have said that better.
versus you saying it logically. Because like for us, if it's some hard shit that got to be said, we gonna fucking say it.
Yeah.
Her feelings are backburner because this has to be said. The way I say it, my voice inflection, the tone I use, how my presence is, I don't give a shit because this needs to be said.
Yeah.
But she's gonna remind you that that's a woman. You can't just say that like you talking to another man. Because with men, when we say shit as if we're talking to men, because for us, the threat of violence is going to always keep that conversation front value. I have to take his words as matter of fact. There are no emotions behind it, but they are all emotion. As much as they want to pretend like they're like us and can be just pure logic,
And,
They
be-
think and
and
feel.
besides submitting to those emotions, it don't seem like you win. You know, at a certain point, I just got tired of like fighting and battling about it.
Mhm.
So I just started agreeing and apologizing. And man, I even caught myself apologizing for falling asleep. And that's when I knew that, okay, like maybe this shit is just strictly being operated off of all emotion. And yeah, you're right. I think we think more logical in a lot of areas. And women need to understand that certain shit you care about, certain shit you like, certain shit you think about, some of that shit don't even cross our mind. I mean, we are literally set up and programmed different, you know, so communicating and a lot of people think it's about fucking listening and talking. It's about comprehension and understanding. You know, because I could talk to you all day, but if you ain't really comprehending and understanding shit that I'm saying to you, what is it doing? We can communicate in the argument. I'm yelling and screaming, you listening, you yelling and screaming, I'm listening. Is it the proper communication? Mm-hmm. So instead of me coming to you and feeling like I gotta be your mom or I gotta bust you over the fucking head with something that I feel, I just think if they took the time out to express that shit differently. Like I've had a bitch literally lay on me and say, you know, something to me in the sweetest way that I respond perfectly well. Mm-hmm. And it make me feel like, damn, I don't want to make her feel like that again. Versus, you ain't shit, bitch. I could call a nigga right now. Like that does nothing. You know what I'm saying? Versus you sitting down, and I always told them too, I'm giving y'all a tip. When you fucking your man, that is the best time to have a conversation. It really is. I promise you, I don't know if that's the best time. When you giving him, you smart motherfucker, look at that boy. Maybe right, ask him what you need to know.
I would say
right. You gonna tell you?
I would say right after, because once that PNC kicks in,
post-nut clarity.
That logic will make, oh damn, what she said actually makes some sense.
I don't like how you talked to me earlier. Yes, ma'am. But yes, ma'am. And I'm gonna talk to you, right? To your point, though.
Post-nut clarity.
PNC.
Post-nut clarity.
To your point, though, both men and women, when it comes to relationships and communication, they don't do pure communication.
You can tell
they're
the boys
basically
in here because they don't have nothing to say about it.
I think they're just enjoying the conversation.
I enjoy the conversation. My thing is though, like what y'all like, it's only reason I'm really quiet on it because I'm just trying to hear y'all's point of view on it. Mm-hmm. But also, like I'm reading a book right now, like that was brought out by a buddy of mine, and it's really like opening up my eyes to some different things. So that's why I'm trying to get y'all's hear y'all's point of view, and then just
see where my mind's at.
See where my mind is at.
I'm enjoying the conversation. I think I would love to have a woman's audience.
I would love that.
Yeah. So y'all can,
although
kind of mingle in between that too.
Although I will say, I speak very matter of fact. If I hurt your emotions, I don't mean to.
You do.
He do.
No, you would know if I meant it, because it would be cold.
He's really
as fuck.
the mean.
Who hurt this man?
It would really be cold as fuck. But when it comes to communication, the first thing, like when we're talking about stuff like that, I actually listen. Like you said, I listen to understand. I want to hear what you're saying. I don't want to listen to understand you, and you over there listening like a battle rapper, like, mm-hmm. Oh, you said that? That's the first point I'm gonna attack. Oh, now you said that? All right, I got 2 points. Oh shit, you just said that. Hold the fuck up. Who the fuck? That's not gonna get nobody nowhere. And that's how the majority of those conversations go. It's a fucking battle instead of we actually trying to get to a fucking solution.
I ain't gonna lie, I've never been really good at it for a long time. Because I felt like all the pressures that I have as a man, as a father, as a husband, as a son, I say husband, as a boyfriend, as a son,
man,
they about to
pull. Listen. Keep that, because anybody who's watching this that's religious, the Bible says when you find a wife, you find a good thing. That don't mean when you find a girlfriend, you make her your wife. No, she has to be a wife before you give her that contract. Just like everyone in this room has been raised to be a husband before we ever get there. To keep that. Say
But husband. But I was toxic, bro, and fucked up, and it still is to some extent. When I'm dealing with a lot, I don't want to deal with the emotional side of my woman, and I know it's fucked up, but I feel like I already have so many things that I have to deal with as a man, and I try to explain to whoever I'm dealing with that know that I have a life outside of you, and that can be very stressful for me, which is why I went back to saying I want to come home to peace. It's hard out here for me as it is, being a black man, being a father of a young black man, of a daughter. And like I said, the demand of being a good man, a responsible man, a man that handles business, the demand of it is right now. Yeah. I got to be a dad right now. I have to be a boyfriend right now. The job is now, the opportunity is now. I feel like at some point I don't get a break. And when I have to hear and deal with the emotional, petty shit that you're talking about, I don't want to hear it. And I'm either being told a lot that I don't have feelings. I don't know how to be sensitive or emotional to my woman's needs. And it's just because I feel like you're crying over spilled fucking milk. Like, for me, I spill that milk. The only thing that y'all looking at me to do is to go to the store and get another one. Yeah. I can't stand here and
I'm the wrong one to the argument with me. Especially this petty.
I want them to respond to that before I respond to that. Any add-ons to what he was just saying?
Oh, for like as far as like for the piece, I mean, not really. I mean, because like for me, like what I deal with as a man, like already, like my job is already highly stressful. So I can definitely agree with you on when you come to the home front, like it being peace when you get there. But like for me, how I deal with like different shit that's going on, like I just have different ways of dealing with it for me personally. Like I need to go hoop, I need to go to the gym. That's how I de-stress. And for me, I'm more so, and this is probably one of my most toxic things, is that I'm more of a people pleaser. So if I know something's going haywire for like somebody in my life, I'm trying to figure out what I can do to make that better for them, even if that's going to cause myself a little bit more of a headache or more stress. But then that's, for me, how I balance that back out is I get my ass into the gym or I hoop a little bit more. So for me, like when I broke my foot and when I couldn't hoop,
yeah, that was a bad time.
Like that right there, that was like one of the lowest parts of my life, because I couldn't even do the thing that like helped me like get out of my funk when I'm dealing with everybody else around me, like my family, family, friends, girlfriend, like couldn't balance it all out. So that right there, like you do have to figure out how you're gonna like navigate through that. So that's all I like to say.
That people pleasing shit, I used to do as well a lot.
Yeah.
I was big on that, especially where we're from.
Mm-hmm.
We're very family oriented. But at some point in life, I hit a place where I had to stop being selfless and more selfish. And I say that because as long as you're the strongest person, bro, some people never check on you. Never. And if they do, it's to assure that you're still good enough. You're just good enough to still come through for them. I've been through these situations, and it put me in a place of saying, when the fuck am I going to start caring about me? When is it going to be my turn?
Mm-hmm.
I got to stop giving so much and giving, because believe it or not, that shit is draining and exhausting. And I always say that the strongest people break. And when you are the backup, what do you have at that point?
Nobody.
You know what I mean? Right.
But
and we all know that it is even harder, bro, giving yourself advice and motivating and pushing yourself, versus you calling me, then I can give you all the best advice in the world pertaining to it. But when it comes to myself, I'm looking for outside.
Because you're not going to receive it.
Right.
You need to receive it.
So, I think a lot of people now in this place is thinking that I'm hateful or I'm just an asshole, and it's not really that. I've just gotten to a point where I'm trying to do truly what's best for me. and what makes me happy. And if it's not that, I want no parts of it. I do have a tendency to shut down in these combative situations now because that's a part of how I've learned to teach myself to not be as combative or not be the one flipping out and clicking out. You know, my temper attitude was at a different point. You know, I've actually become one of the calm friends out of us now. Because before, y'all know I'm a firecracker. But again, it's just like, man, that shit, I'm going to say this. It hurt more being a bully than it did being a victim.
Yeah.
And I say that because the way that I was built from God and from family wise, I'm tough as a motherfucker. I can take and endure a lot. You know, but it hurt me more to like be that on them. It hurting them when, like he said, I got a healing spirit. Like I'm really supposed to be helping and doing stuff for y'all, and so it kind of just changed me. And when my most mature thing that I've done, bro, is when I realize you have a certain power over me, I have to eliminate you out of my life. If I know that I haven't hit that total place yet where I can control myself when you push those buttons, a certain little shit, I remove you because that means that you still have either them triggers, you know, too well, or you just got too much power over me. So instead of putting myself in that situation, like with my gun, bro, if I got to bring my gun, I'm not going. It's just the maturity that I've hit. Like if I really gotta have this bitch and I go in here, why am I coming here? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
If I gotta argue and beef with you every night that I get home from working 120 motherfucking hours a week, why I'm here? You know what I mean? And that just with family, with life, with jobs and shit too.
Yes. Anything to add?
No, bro.
You know he's big player.
All right.
I ain't
So-
no big player. Y'all jump from point to point to point.
That is what I was just
That's
about
why,
to say.
like, what do y'all want me to chime in on?
You can chime in on anything because I'm going to touch on all that.
I ain't got nothing to chime on.
Man.
So,
I don't like, man. Y'all went from like, you know, what you
Marriage.
see, value, marriage, and all that. And my thing is, reason why I don't really have no points of like, you know, what points I'm looking at is because I done got to the point in my life, bro, where I'm not gonna lie to y'all, bro. Put it in God's hands, like. Like, why would you have a checklist for all that shit? Because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get that out your partner. As many girlfriends I've been with, like, you know, I stuck with them because I genuinely probably just liked them. But most of them probably wasn't my type, probably wasn't good for me, probably didn't have to deal with them. So I'm at the point in my life where, God, give me a sign. Like,
we'll see.
You gonna wait on him this time.
I understand that. But you waiting on God to give you a sign is never going to get you anywhere. Because unfortunately, the Bible even tells you if you give a man a fish, he eats for the day. If you teach him to fish, he eats for the lifetime. So unfortunately, waiting on a sign that, oh, this person should check off this box, this person should have this, you're not going to do that because God wants you to actively start building out who you believe he has for you and then going for it.
I feel you on that. I think where I'm at in my point in my life is
You don't even care about check box.
I'm not checking for it because I don't want. I know, honestly, y'all, bro. The women are gone, the men are gone. Like, I'm with you.
No,
what
I-
he's saying in the book
I
about
agree
that
with
for sure, all the way. But what's the point? What's the point of kind of doing it? I mean, let me not say that. Where I'm at in my life is, I guess I'm trying to figure it out of bettering myself, so
That's
I can
exactly what I was gonna say.
so I can go ahead and look into the points of what I need to look into my partner.
And see, I would even say with that kind of mentality, that's the right kind of mentality because basically all that is you've been put into let me work on me.
Mm-hmm.
And for you looking for a sign, that is God telling you doing the right thing because you working on you is okay. I see you learning how to fish.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start sending what I want you to have to you once you get to the point I need you to be.
I mean, to be honest with you, at certain points, you might have even gotten that.
You probably have, but at the end of the day,
You know?
it probably didn't work out because you probably were stuck in your ways. And then like I'm like everybody know in this room, bro. I'm probably like the most caring person and will come through for you, like on God. And I've been doing that for like years. Like that goes for everybody, like family, friends. And I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like I get to that point where I'm gonna go into my little hole because at the end of the day, what I do for y'all or what I do for you, or if I come through for you, I'm giving you a piece of my energy.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you go back to doing your own thing.
Yeah.
And I got to the point is I don't like to share my energy no more, bro. Like unless I just genuinely fuck with y'all. Y'all know I got everybody else in this room, man. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like I've been through the relationships where I've gave a woman my I wouldn't say my all, but boy,
You give her a lot.
Damn close to it.
Let's see. And here's where that point kind of ties back into what you were talking about a bit. Especially what you were talking about down there with the people pleasing. Everyone in this room was trained since we were infants that we must give all of ourselves in order to seek approval. And follow me on the analogy, not everybody's going to get it. Do y'all know why the Dead Sea is called the Dead Sea?
No.
The Dead Sea is called the Dead Sea because it's literally has one way in and no way out. In the way that energy flows, you have to have in and out. It can't just always just sit in that pool or it's going to turn bad. The Dead Sea is dead because oxygen flows in through the water. But once it's in that pool, it has nowhere to go. Your energy and giving to everyone flows into these people. But with nobody flowing back into you, that's when people's heart starts to turn cold. They start becoming toxic. They become reclusive. They don't want to deal with people. They stop doing this and that.
the fact you said about like becoming toxic, bro, like touching back to like your point earlier about like when you come home, you don't want to have those petty arguments and all that. Because I ain't gonna lie, I've been in arguments where if I'm saying my piece, this go for like anybody, girl, and like if I'm just talking to the homie, we having a disagreement. Like motherfuckers want to say their piece, but when you try to explain your point, comprehend. Nobody try to comprehend.
They battle rap you.
So then, like, I get to the point where either I gotta walk away from you, or I gotta shut down, or you know what? Let me kind of listen to what you're trying to say. But if you keep jumping, boom, 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 you lost me.
And I agree with that because I've been hit with that shit before where I've said, if that happened last week, why the fuck didn't you tell me that last week? You wait until now to start hitting me with buku shit that you have been feeling from the whole month. And then I don't even get an opportunity to answer the first thing you're talking about.
Man, you got your whole list
because
ready.
you didn't stored so much information.
You got your whole list.
That now that you hit this emotional breaking point, you're unloading on me.
Like I hate when a girl say like I want to talk about some things with you, and then when y'all get to talking about some shit, I literally be having to say this. Hey, I want you to understand. If you bring up one point, we need to finish
that point.
Analyze that point. Because you're not finna bring up this point and then backdoor when you get done bringing up that point, you bring up a whole nother point. Well, I'm still stuck on this point. Because all you finna do is come right back around to it.
That's what caused me to shut down in a lot of
and they always be like, you so nonchalant, you an asshole, you don't never express your feelings. What do you want me to say? Because you're pouring all your stuff out on the floor without even trying to comprehend what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add?
No, sir, I'm good.
What you guys are talking about is where I would challenge both men and women to do something. Ladies, like they said, when you have an issue, speak up. But unfortunately, fellas, I know you might not want to hear it. I know she might be pulling up something from the past and something petty. Like you said, when we're on a one point, we need to get through this point before we move on to the next. The fastest way to get to where you're going to point A to B. You can't get to Z by trying to take me all the way off to G, F, back to S, then R. We need to go A to B. Stick to this point first. But fellas, we might not want to do it in that moment, and we might need to sit in the car a little 30 minutes to get yourself right. But at a certain point, you have to, even though you don't want to, you just got to go through that conversation.
I'm fine with that.
And I'm not talking about just on her end.
No, yeah.
Like when you got something going, yeah, she may want to talk about her day. And this is one of the ways you have one that deserves a contract. Because everybody in here knows when we have major issues, first thing to do is shut up. We stop talking because we're in our heads trying to figure this shit the fuck out and how we're going to make it play. And if she can sense that now all of a sudden your mood shifted, you're quiet. If she knows how to actually handle that situation and navigate that, you have something that you need to say. Tell me what you need to have heard. Because we were all taught, bottle them emotions down so tight till they erupt like a volcano.
Sometimes though, James, I think if women just learn to embrace that silence from us, that things would be a lot better. Because again, we're not programmed in that way to emotionally get through anything. I may not want to talk about me having to go in and do 30 hours tomorrow.
Yeah.
Your job as my support is to give me that comfort before I walk out this door to do these 30 hours.
I kid y'all not, bro. When the girls say I was work, I'd be like, I don't want to.
It was good.
It's good.
How many times do we say we okay, bro, as men when we really not?
I probably say it.
Do you feel, and this is
probably
about
say it a
security
million times
and
a day.
stability for me in these marriages things, because do I feel secure enough to vent to you like that?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Can I talk to you and express my vulnerability, my softness with you without it being used on me later?
Without weaponizing it.
Throw that in my face.
Can I come in this bitch and just lay on your titties and lay on your ass and probably go to sleep, bitch? I don't want to talk about it.
Nah, I kid you. Yeah, laying down on the girl.
I just want to.
That's a peaceful
I'm
feeling.
so hard out here, bro. I come home and just want to be held.
I ain't had a
We
nice
love being
little.
the big, being little spoon.
I ain't had a nice little hold me down in a minute like that. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking win.
And that's exactly what I mean by when we should have those conversations. It's prefaced by, let me have my silence. And even though I don't want to tell you, because you could weaponize this, you could tell your homeboy and he can weaponize it too. How many underhanded niggas you know, like, let's say everybody in this room wasn't shit and we was all cheating on people. But you got the baddest bitch in town and now I want some of that. Hey, you know this nigga fucked Shaniqua last week. And now she in her feelings and now she won't let you have it.
I need not to Shaniqua.
Get to the example, nigga.
You could have picked a better name. I'm just saying.
We used to work with it. No.
Shut the fuck up.
Based on
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
You say based off a true story.
It's not, but the fact still remains. Like I said, they have to learn as soon as you come through the door, you're not going to be right there ready to have those conversations. Let me have some time to unwind.
Oh, but my bitch come home and unload. And I'm going to sit there and listen because I understand how important that is for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm saying that I'm messy too, bro. Like, I'm going to feed with my bitch. Now I'm saying, what? Man, tell her, oh, she better let him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do that. You're going to be excited to have a conversation with me to come on or to call me. I've been so open with my old lady. When she's talking to me, it's even time. She'll be like, girl, guess what the fuck happened? Because I'm really that open with you on the shit. I want you to be just as accepting when I don't have nothing to say. And understand that as a man, I may not need it. Because for me, I can't speak for y'all. I want to learn you on my own. Whatever Desmond is telling me about relationship-wise, that has nothing to do with me.
Yep.
Same shit with you, same shit with you, same shit with him, same shit with my mom and my dad. You cannot tell me about all men being bad because the niggas you chose were.
Yep.
That part.
That's based off your type.
That part.
So I love what he said about not having to listen, not because I don't have one of those. If I can really just vibe with you and the energy is right and I feel comfortable and I feel vulnerable enough to not be this tough ass nigga that I have to be outside of you, I'm all for it. And I'm not gonna go based off of what I see everybody else dealing with and going through, because again, that doesn't determine. That just means maybe every nigga you had was bad, every bitch you had wasn't no good. But all women and men are not like that. There are some that are still the. I know you said there's no more women and men love. They got a few. It's very fucking rare and hard to find, and like you said
It's
too,
like
that
1%.
a lot of men that mess that up
Yeah, for sure.
because of them getting these good women or having these stability and security at home while they still out here playing with all these bitches. Right. You know. But yeah, I just don't go off of that neither. I go based off of what I am for that moment and understand. I have the conviction to know that I know we not going nowhere.
Mhm.
But I might just, like he said, like you or something about you that helps me to enjoy you for this time. I'm okay with that. I'm not really looking for anything more.
And I was just thinking about it. The one thing that probably would be the box that sums all of this up, which is for both men and women, people who get into long-term relationships with other people is because they genuinely give a shit what the other person wants. And today, nobody gives a shit what the other person they're entertaining wants. Because I'm just here I'm here for a good time, not a long time. That's most people's mentality. But in relationships that end up lasting, they can't genuinely care. Like you said, you come home, your girl know you don't want to talk. She gonna just give you some food. Let's go lay down and watch this TV while you online. When you ready to talk, she know you ready to talk. And just like you would know her, when she has to get some shit off her chest, you might not want to hear it when you walk through the door, but you can see she has to get this out.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead, I'm gonna have to take this one. What you need to tell me. And it's because you genuinely fuck with this person enough to care what they want.
I really can't wait until we have a woman perspective on here one day, man. That's gonna be a great.
I'm bringing it next week.
That's gonna be a great episode.
I'm being with you.
It's gonna be a great
I'm
episode.
bringing 3 next week.
Okay, yeah.
It's gonna be a great one.
But
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Y'all remember that video? I think it was a husband and wife. Wife was like, "Is there anything I can do to make your day better today?"
Oh yes.
I seen that video. I was like, man, where do I meet her? She's like, he was like, no, nothing. She's like, is there anything? Think about it. You can pick up the kids. I can do that. What do you want to eat? Anything.
I need to see that video because
Man,
that right there.
bro, when I tell you, bro, that girl was in her soft girl era, bro.
Because a lot of dudes will do just what he did. Is there anything I can do?
No, I'm good.
No, I'm good. I can handle it myself. I've been handling it myself. Is there anything I can do? Second time, nah, I got it.
Bro, that lady
That's
kept,
the third time.
that lady
Now
walked
it's
him
just
down.
like, what the fuck does she want? Okay, well, you might be able to do this for me.
She walked him down.
And
bro.
then she keeps
I'ma find you
asking-
I think it goes back
Until
to like
he-
what you said though. When you find your person, bro, like you make that person a better version of themselves.
Mhm.
And
For
then
sure.
when they find you,
For sure.
they want to be better for you.
For sure.
I've been in those situations where I know I can't lose her. I know what you giving, what you providing for me, and I'll be a fool to let this shit go right now.
For sure.
And that's what it is for me. Yeah, you might find a hoe that's been tricking and slutting all this time up into you, but you just might be that nigga for her that changes all of that.
Why you use that example?
You know what?
Why did you use that example?
What, just
That
now?
was a good one.
That wasn't a good one. I don't like that one. No.
So does that
I
make
mean, you don't
a-
have to get a
Because
slut bucket.
sometimes, no, it's not about a slut bucket. Because, and this is gonna come from people probably gonna hear this part coming out of my mouth and think, "Oh, this motherfucker's got trust issues." But certain females see a certain type of nigga walking by and they're like, "Oh no, I'm gonna change my tune that I just had 30 minutes ago." When I came out of this, wherever I was just now, talking with such and such. But this motherfucker right here, oh yeah, I'm gonna completely flip script. Oh yeah, I'm only looking for marriage. I'm only looking for this. Yeah, you got to do this, and that. And I'll do this for you. Yeah, I'll do this. They flip that script real quickly for the person. It just depends. So you really still have to. And this is
You
time.
can only hide that mask for long. Though.
Exactly, but and it's dialing back into what Des is saying, like not having a list, like and having the woman just show up. You gotta have the teachings from God to know, okay, now I know how to fish properly to weed through those women that come into your life like that. Because I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I have ran into some women, you know what I mean, that have, spoke a good game about, a real relationship. But when it came down to it, like, it was just a complete disconnect from like what you actually showing me at the end of the day. Like what you want to go do.
Using that mouthpiece.
Yeah, like what you want to do for like what you doing, like you said, you want to go out to the club and everything like that. Yeah, that's cool, but to a certain extent. And like what you want to do like further, like past that. Like what are you still like doing after that? Like once all of that time is like winding down and the clock is starting to tick on, oh well, some of these people ain't gonna be no good for me no more. I need to dial this shit back in. Are you able to do that? And are you able to like just genuinely be consistent? Because like you said, you're not gonna be able to keep that up for long. I think that's the little tricky part right there.
And I think that's the good part of what he was saying too, that getting found in that era is going to speak for itself. You trying to figure out what's going to be better, a better you, versus you asking me the questions that's going to better me, gives me a different discernment on who I'm dealing with. I believe in the beginning of a relationship or the beginning of any situations, I even base who you are off the type of questions you're asking.
Or if
You
you
know.
ask them at all. Because a lot
And
of
certain
times they
shit
don't
that
ask
you
them at all.
ask can tell you a lot about a person, and you would know. I mean, you're younger, but you've been around enough to know the same fucking song, just a different tune on it. I am able to run that same game and apply all them pressures because I'm that nigga too. And then that's why I say it's the discernment of knowing you playing with me because you're trying to get your goal. Or is this really what it was? I met somebody, bro, many years ago that the relationship I was in prior to that was over a decade. And it was always comfort in what I was providing for that, us only. So I got into a relationship with somebody else that was actually pushing and requiring, what the fuck am I doing for me? And that just put my head in a different place. It made me build Chef A Quest, Chef Bay, Legendary Creations. Because before then, it just was a talk. It sounded real good expressing this while I'm laying up.
Mm-hmm.
And she not, no, that sound real good. And then kissing on a nigga and then boom. Versus, okay, well, here's the computer. What's the logo name? You know what I'm saying? What's going to be this? What's going to be that? It was the push and the draw for me that got me in a place of, I said, the last one had me in love with lust, and this one got me falling in love with purpose. Damn. And I think that woke me up.
Look,
And I just had a conversation with my little brother saying that I think I'm going to go back home because I realized through trial and error of you. That's why I say I was toxic at one point. You trying to force me to be something I wasn't ready for. Not realizing that that's what the fuck I needed. And not being ready for it is what made me need to be ready for it because it's the one thing in my life that I have not accomplished. And I'm stuck in place because I have not gotten past that phase. You know what I mean? We know that God will make you do the same thing over and over, bro, until you figure it out, until you pass it. Somebody different person, different relationship with the same fucking outcome each time. And yeah, that just, I think that's what a marriage should come from me, of understanding that I'm now falling in love with purpose.
that's a beautiful thing. And that is why we're going to wrap this up here because this conversation absolutely needs to continue with Raider in presence because he has been in a relationship for 20 years, married for 15, and he expressed some of the same sentiments you said today. And I mean,
If we do talk about it, make sure we got some women on the podcast.
oh, absolutely,
That's gonna be a great,
because
I'm gonna work that out on my end.
a great set.
Because,
I'll make some phone calls on that.
yeah, this is definitely something that we'll have to go into in depth. Also, let us know if you like this, because I'm fairly certain this is one of the first times y'all are ever going to see something that's potentially 2 hours long.
I was gonna say you can break it down in two parts. Right?
I might,
Yeah, you
but that's why I said potentially. But like I said, y'all like, comment, subscribe. We will revisit this topic. Tell us other topics if y'all want us to do more long form stuff like this. Actual in depth conversations. Give us some suggestions. Y'all got anything to say before we wrap up?
So Pink Room. How big is that room?
That big. That's
It's huge.
big.
We got about 30 tables.
It was huge.
So we can have
Like
like
I
a
said,
woman
the-
podcast, or like the woman podcast on that one.
We could have a
We
lot
could,
of podcasts.
we could possibly even have a few of those from there. Not the workers, because they're more kitty, but like some of the customers and shit that I know that
frequent.
grown women
We'll
very
change up the mic thing.
That's gonna be alright.
Okay, good. Sorry,
And
I
it's
don't
hard
have
in
nothing
case
to
they
say.
watch me.
Oh no, it definitely is on. We gotta get it out, but that's all we got for y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, be tuned in, because actually follow the Instagram, because it'll probably preview there first, and you can find out when we're actually going to upload episodes. That'll be down below on the screen, and y'all know where to find us with the Guys Podcast,
Ring that bell.
and we're out.